Today we're going to be showcasing off a Nemesis Dark Hero deck that is going to be really strong as long as they don't hit Mally. In fact, unless you put Mally to 1, this deck can actually be pretty nasty. And that is because you can actually recycle Malicious over and over again, getting free extra cards, opening up with boards that are pretty much unbeatable for the most part. But the deck also has insane recovery due to the Nemesis's ability. So basically the reason why this is like a Dark Hero deck is it pretty much just plays the Dark Heroes because those are the best ones, let's be honest. With the exception of Bubble Man because he's awesome. But Bubble Man and Ab-Zero, not too hot in 2020. But how it works is you shuffle one of your banished monsters back into the deck to actually summon them, and then they all have some type of a bonus plus effect over here. The best are actually going to be the red and blue ones. There was an older play with Colossus with the green one, but for the most part how they work is you put back one Malicious and you special summon it. So you get another card and then you get to summon Malicious an additional time, so you get additional free cards. And that's why we're able to Malicious like 6 times in one turn. We also use the Yugioh's effect to, of course, get out the additional hero, which will then lead us into the Dark Law play. So what we're going to be able to do is we have 4 negates with this, and this is our 5th negate. Technically it negates twice, but it's once per turn. And then with the last Mally, you have mass change over here to go right ahead and go into a Dark Law. Unfortunately getting Kaiju'd, I think this guy probably wish he Kaiju'd this, but we're going to go ahead and see a Dark Law as well over here. So being able to get rid of a bunch of cards is quite great with the ability to just stop your opponent. But again, the deck is very resilient on being able to come back, and I'll show you guys what happens when you don't win in turn 1. Because most of the time when you have 4 negates, basically Appaloosa plus Dark Law opens up the doors to very difficult boards to break. It's almost a super win condition because Dark Law already gets rid of 1 card out of your opponent's hand for the most part once they go ahead and search. Look at the disrespect, not even going to beat him down with his own card over here, but that's pretty much a GG at this point. He can't really do too much with, of course, Dark Law and him losing out on too many cards. But like I said, the question is, what happens with this deck when you don't happen to be able to pop off? In the first duel over here, the guy still had a Kaiju over here, but we're going to go ahead and check out what happens now. And again, even if Mally gets to 2 in the TCG for the new April ban list, which, you know, where is that new ban list? We're waiting for quite some time. We already got the OCG one, so the TCG one should be within the next week or two, because again, we're also getting that new April 1st rule change. So once again, using the Yugioh effect over here to go ahead and get out the extra monster. And then with the Nemesis, you're going to go ahead and not only add back a card, but you also get to reset a Mally. So it basically gives you 2 cards for like nothing. It's really unfair. You could probably make some other cool Exceed plays with it. They're all different levels, but if you were to go for a level 3, you can do other things here. But this one's going to open up with the standard play over here. He's going to go and special some CyberDragon, so it loses out on Appaloosa, but we're going to go ahead and see the Cyber Emergency, but the Dark Law is going to be coming out, so it's going to go ahead and get rid of one of the opponent's cards. He snipes out the Galaxy Soldier, which is an excellent card to hit, but then he'd be going super minus anyways, and has to send one to the graveyard to special summon it anyway. So he's going to go ahead and lose out on everything. But I told you guys, this deck has like insane comeback potential, because at this point we're at the disadvantage. But the Mallies are still there. The Phoenix Blades are still there. You're going to be able to Phoenix Blade for basically free all the time because you have enough warriors. But he ends up activating Cybernetic Overflow, and we still lose everything. And the opponent still happens to have 4 cards in his hand compared to 1 card of the Vision Hero Vion. Let's go ahead and check out how he's going to be coming back from this. Goes for Vion, goes right into the Alamirage, goes ahead and use World Legacy Succession to go ahead and bring back the Nemesis Flag. Nemesis Flag going to search out the Umbrella. These ones are just like free extra cards. And then with this one, he gets to add back a Nemesis Flag. So you guys can kind of understand how the loop kind of orients itself. And then we're going to go ahead and see a Yugioh, draw a bunch of cards over here. And then Mally's going to go ahead and be able to go ahead and special summon itself. Because again, you have the ability to recycle Mally. And that's really where this deck becomes very powerful. Look at the disrespect. Mally in attack position with the Phoenix Blade, and that's going to actually make it game because he goes ahead and activates that mass change that we drew into to go ahead and make game. So you can see this deck is pretty good. Now, I actually have 2 different versions of this deck. One of them is a hero, Nemesis Dark Hero. The other one is a Nemesis It does still obviously use Mally, because Nemesis plus Mallies are insane. But this one's a Raid Raptor variant. You can actually go into a lot of great Exceed monsters, specifically Cyber Dragon Infinity. Plus, you can go for Utopic Zero over here to make the build a little bit better, which basically is like a win condition on its own. So we're going to go and see the Wise Strix. We're finally able to utilize this card because it's been so long since this card was announced for the TCG. I was worried that it was just never coming out. That and like the Predaplant card, which actually got hit in the OCG down to 1. But we're going to see that Utopic Zexal over here. So this card has that ability to, you activate it, your opponent cannot really do too much. Once we're doing quick effect detach material, and then your opponent cards and effects cannot be activated this turn. But the guy is playing a variant of Blackwings. I don't know why there's T-Roar, honestly. At first I was like, okay, this guy's got some pretty cool spicy Blackwing build, maybe. I haven't seen Blackwings in a while, but he's able to go ahead and make Chidori, and this has a decent amount of attack. So we're going to go ahead and see Reborn come out, bring back the Wise Strix, and then 4 Strix going to go ahead and search out an extra card. Wise Strix over there going to go ahead and get that Soul Shave Force, which is going to go ahead and allow him to potentially bring out some stuff. The guy, I'm not sure why he activated T-Roar too early, maybe misclick, or just not the most optimal play here. But we're also going to see him make Appaloosa, so 4 negates with this, and this is 5 negates. He's only got 4 cards, and you guys already know how this goes. It usually doesn't end up too well for the person that doesn't have the Appaloosa, because this card, I really think it should go. There's just too many decks that can just spam it out, but I'll show you guys a few different varieties of some duels. Any variant of like the Cybers, they're actually pretty strong as well. They're very interesting to watch because there's always a lot of tech. It's kind of a spam board deck. You can make it basically based off of links. And there is like a ritual variant that I've also seen as well. But there's a lot of stuff that you can do. There's like the Clockwork Dragon. I've seen people try to go for that as well. But once again, going into the Wise Strix over here. And then we're going to go ahead and get some free searches. Activate the Soul Shave Force. Of course, we're going to go ahead and start Yugioh first. And then we're going to go ahead and lose some life points. But it doesn't matter when we can go ahead and bring out Cyber Dragon Infinity. And go ahead and get that effect to summon one more time, and that will allow us to go into another rank 4 if we want to. But Bow of the Goddess, fantastic card. So we have 4 negates with that, and there we see the Mally being absorbed, so we get extra damage on our Cyber Dragon Infinity, because sometimes he just doesn't have enough attack here. But pretty much he can't really do too much because the Bow of the Goddess is just going to say no to anything. So he's going to go and make Decode Talker and just crash right into that card, because attacking over Appaloosa, well, he would just absorb it next turn anyways. So he's going to rely on that. But another Soul Shave Force and another Cyber Dragon Infinity. So, I mean, Cyber Dragon Infinity will come out a lot in this deck. But now that you guys have seen the gameplay, let me go and give you guys the deck profile for both of those builds in case you guys want to go ahead and mess around it. But I got to give a big shout out to my boy Teriyaki for hooking me up with the deck profile. As well as, of course, the gameplay here. So, in my personal opinion, I think that the Nemesis Dark Hero version is better versus the Nemesis Raptor Hero variant. The reason why is because I think Dark Law just automatically beats people's deck. Although this card is excellent as well. But let's go and hop into the deck profile. So first off, 1 copy of Deshrudo. That's how you're going to make your Savage Dragon. And then we have 3 copies of Mally, and 2 copies of the Corridor over here. And then 1 copy of Armageddon Knight, 1 Shadow Mist, 3 copies of Vion. And then we have 3 copies of Space Connector, 2 copies of Umbrella, 1 copy of Neo-Spacian Aqua Dolphin, 3 copies of Flag, and then 2 copies of Keystone, 3 copies of Instant Fusion. This allows you to go for Millennium Eyes Restrict to block out everything that your opponent does, and also will give you another card. Specifically for the new Master Rule, this is really actually just so much better because you don't have, you know, of course, the requirement to make Link Karibo then making your plays. You can just use that as another material for your Yugioh. But then we got Reinforced with Army, Reborn, and then World Legacy Succession, and then we got, this is just the new April 1st rules, which will be coming out very soon anyways, so you won't have to play that card anymore. Next up we have Mass Change, 3 copies of the Cult, 1 copy of the Nemesis Dresta. We didn't get to go over this card, but lets you target one of your Nemesis monsters that is banished or in the graveyard you get to special summon it, and if its original level is 11 or higher, it cannot activate its effects this turn. You can only activate one of it. It doesn't really matter. It's just special summon another Nemesis monster that's banished or in your graveyard. Remember, you can still proc those effects over there. It only negates its effect if its original level is 11 or higher. Then we have 2 toads with 1 hop. You get to basically get an extra card out. It just, you get to target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it, negates its effect, and then it equips it with it. It's just, again, another free extra monster. I would probably recommend, instead of these cards, I would say Impermanence is overall better. You can throw in maybe some hand traps as well, but I didn't get to go over those. And then have 2 copies of DDR, then we have your Phoenix Blade, your Living Fossil, and your Symbol of Heritage. But as far as the extract goes, we got Dark Law, the Ragin, we got Millennium Ice, Savage Dragon, Dawn Dragster, 3 copies of Sorry Yugioh, because you can make 2, I'd say. On average, you can maybe drop 1, I would say, in this deck, because it's still like viable, maybe as another option here. And then we've got Appaloosa, we've got Unicorn, Phoenix, Soul, we've got the Cerberus, and of course Amirage, which came in clutch with that 1 card going right into it for, of course, that play with the World Legacy Inheritor. And then for the Raid Raptor build over here, we got 3 Mally, 3 copies of Corridor, 1 copy of Vanishing, 1 copy of Mimicry, 1 Necro Vulture, 3 copies of Violent, 3 copies of Connector, 1 copy of Seeing Lanius, 2 copies of Umbrella, 1 copy of Aqua Dolphin, 3 copies of the Flag, 3 copies of Pain Lanius, 3 copies of Instant Fusion, 3 copies of Soul Shave Force, 1 copy of Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Reborn Inheritor, this is just used for Master Rule, and then 3 copies of Call, 1 Double or Nothing, then we got DDR, Divine Sword, Living Fossil, Symbol of Heritage, and Excessive Burial, aka Overdone Burial. Then we got Ragin, Carbonella, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity, then we got the Utopia lineup over here, and then of course our S0 Utopic Zexal for instant win condition, 2 copies of Force Strix, 2 copies of Sorry Yugioh, 1 copy of Appaloosa, 1 Phoenix, 1 is Soul, and of course we have our Wise Strix to round it off. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay as well as the deck profile. If you enjoyed the video, you'll drop a like on it. If you're new here, make sure you guys subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on cool Yu-Gi-Oh builds, like of course the one where we finally got our Wise Strix. And Nemesis, I think, might be a popular archetype to go ahead and splash it into other ones. I haven't really seen anyone make a pure Nemesis deck, but that might be a thing in the future. If they had maybe more lights and darks, then we can like utilize the effects of some of the other ones, because red and blue are like pretty much the best ones here, whereas green, you have to target one of your banished ones and then add it to your hand, and the Keystone, if it's banished, you get to add it back to your hand. If only this card was a tuner, it'd be so much better. There really isn't too many good usage out of the banish mechanic because they're not warriors. If they were warriors, man, this deck would be even more insane for sure, because then you really have infinite targets with your Phoenix Blade. But if you guys want to send me other replays just like my boy Teriyaki, once again, shoutouts to him. But you guys can feel free to do so at AzneyesReplays@gmail.com. But thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you in the next vid. Have a good one. I'm signing out. Peace.